Hi, my name is Tracy and I'm a beauty blogger. I originally wrote about the Semen facial just over a year ago now, and it's received quite a response worldwide. I think it's important to follow that up and actually speak about how the process is done and what it achieves, because I guess from the media, from kind of first impressions, it can be quite a taboo subject really. And I think the kind of shock factor of it is what makes people shy away from the actual benefits of using it. So I've had rosacea since I was born. It's just a condition that is hereditary for me and my family. My father is Hungarian, my mother is Irish, so together is the worst combination for skin. I've had a red face on my cheeks and nose now, which really started noticing as a child when other parents would say to my mum, oh, she's really rosy, she's really bonny, she looks very active and happy, because my face was constantly flushing red. And that would happen when I would just be sat down. It wouldn't necessarily be because of physical activities or being out in the cold or the heat inside. It would just happen continuously. So I always had a bright red face as a child. And growing up, that then became something that made me very self-conscious. I shied away from people because of it. And I was bullied for my lack of confidence and for how I looked, for having a bright red face and really pale skin. So I think it's important to understand that a condition that you have isn't just what you can see. It's very much the kind of mental aspect behind that and how it does affect your life as a person. I think, speaking from my own experience, I didn't feel comfortable being around people, talking to people, being in social situations because I didn't like the way that I looked. One thing that I think is very evident in rosacea sufferers is the fact that their skin is so spontaneous. It's one of those things that you don't know when it's going to happen. For some people it may be constant. My face is always red, but at times it gets worse. Especially when I drink alcohol, if I have spicy food, if I use products that contain chemicals that my face isn't very happy with. I have very sensitive skin, and as a teenager I believed having a constant suntan would even out the redness, which it did, but it also then left me with very dry skin. I find that the pores on my nose are very large, they're very open, and then I have an oily nose and a very dry, harsh face. It can feel very tight, very hot. It feels as if somebody is holding a lighter under your chin. Everything rises up and burns, and you get this kind of red patch that just courses up your face, and it's very embarrassing. It looks like you're constantly blushing and feels so uncomfortable because you can't remove the heat from the skin. It's not like being hot in a jumper and taking it off. You actually have this constant burning heat that just won't relieve. So I guess in a way it's a bit like having sunburn, but for the rest of your life. And that's why it's so uncomfortable. And again, there's different degrees of rosacea. For some people, they have lumps and bumps. You can have rosacea acne, where I frequently have spots around my chin because of my rosacea, because of my hormone imbalance. I have veins that are broken in my skin, like spider veins. And I also just have a constant flushing that comes up. You may look at me now and think that I look quite normal, I look quite pale, there's not much redness. But I want to show you what happens when I use products, so makeup removers, face wipes, creams, moisturisers, even things when people would put face packs on to make your skin feel soft and fresh again. That can affect my face and actually make it worse, make it feel hotter, tighter, and just awful. So I've just got some normal face wipes here. They actually have vitamins and aloe vera in them. So in all respects, they are good for sensitive skin. They are the sensitive skin variety, and they're from Morrison's. Not that I'm advertising, but these are the skincare range. So these are suitable for my skin type, but watch what it does to my face. So here is my kind of resting face. You probably can't see that too well. under the light. This is what happens as soon as I touch it with any kind of product. Okay, so I haven't rubbed that very hard, but as you can see, instantly my face reacts to it. And this side is resting red. This side is agitated red. And that can happen even walking into a room. If the heat is a different temperature, if somebody sprayed some perfume perhaps, something that my skin doesn't like, it instantly just does that. So that's the non-side and that's the side. Again, I'm going to do the other side just so you can see. Just some gentle wipes. I'm not going to press very hard. Bright red face. There we go. And I think for many, they shy away from life because of this. I mean, I put makeup on over my rosacea, and a lot of people that know me don't realise that I have this condition. I think you can mask it, but you can't cure it. And one problem in wearing makeup when you have rosacea is you are irritating sensitive skin. So the area that feels bad already, you make 10 times worse. How I would compare that to normal everyday life. If you have a spot on your face and you try to hide it, you put makeup over it, and you might use concealer or powder, that area becomes very agitated. It can't breathe because you're caking it with makeup and concealers to hide that horrible spot. It can become oily, it can ooze and scab, and it's absolutely horrendous. All you want to do, or all I want to do when I have spots, is clean them off and leave them open to the air. But in leaving your face open to the air, you're then open to the elements, and that makes your face redder and hotter and more painful, which is a very difficult situation to be in. I think there's a very emotional factor behind having rosacea. It's low self-esteem, low self-confidence, and you do avoid social situations. So I look at ways that I can then treat my skin in a natural way to keep it soft, so it's not as dry, so my makeup doesn't crack and cake into it, and doesn't feel as tender, as hot, and as disgusting as it does when you wear makeup and it burns into your face. So I use the Semen facial, as you are well aware, I'm sure. There was the shock factor that I am a single parent, and I use semen from a man. Obviously, you know, women don't make semen. I use the Semen facial to look after my skin, to rejuvenate it, give it some freshness, make it feel more acceptable to put makeup on top and hide my rosacea, because it's something I will never get rid of, but I can manage the flare-ups, and this is what helps me. I had my friend bring over, here's my donation pots. This is a takeaway pot from the Chinese, but I clean this out, and this is how I receive my semen donations. So my friend harvests them in his own time. It's something that he would do naturally on a daily basis anyway, as I think most guys do or would do, given half the chance. I'm not involved in the semen extraction. I simply receive it in a tub. He brings that to me, and I try to use it as quickly as possible so it's as fresh as it can be. Obviously, depending on the time of day, how many donations he's made beforehand, and what he's eaten that week will have a big effect on the consistency and amount of semen that I receive. So I ensure that he doesn't take drugs, he doesn't smoke, and he doesn't have any alcohol leading up to the donation, normally 48 hours before. But he is a very healthy person anyway, and somebody that I know is of good sexual health. Naturally, if you have a husband or a boyfriend or a partner, somebody that you are in a relationship with, or that you know is of good health, you can then use those as a source. You don't have to put it into a pot if you want to turn it into a relationship thing. Direct delivery is also a very good method. And if I find a husband one day, I will be using him every morning. So I want to show you now how I do my semen facial, because I think a lot of people are concerned with the thought of putting semen on their face, but actually it's a very natural and healthy thing to do. I know exactly what goes into this. I know that there are no added chemicals, no harshness. It's as active and live and natural as you could possibly have. And if that makes babies, you know, semen builds babies. They come out very soft, they have beautiful skin. It also leaves my skin nice and soft. So I'm very happy to use this as a facial. So I will show you the pot. I will also take a picture because you will see it more clearly, I think. So here we are. I'm just gonna... This, I believe, is two donations. And as you can see, it's quite loose. So he's very well hydrated and donates to me frequently. Semen will differ in consistency, so depending on how hydrated you are. It's always good to have plenty of water, fresh fruit, vegetables, and to eat well, clean and healthy, because the quality of what you put into your body directly affects what comes out. So I'm going to begin by using wet wipes to clean my hands and make sure they're safe, because I apply this directly with my fingers. You may want to use a cotton bud, but I think that might soak up some of the semen and you really want it all to go on your face. I'm going to be targeting my cheeks today because I don't have a massive amount of semen. It does take a long time to collect that amount, I guess. So for the volume that I have today, I will be doing the biggest area of my face, which are my cheeks. So in preparation, I have no makeup on. As you can see, my face is red. It won't necessarily remove the redness. It doesn't cure you, but it does reduce it. It makes the skin texture better. It stops you from being so dry and worn out. It actually rejuvenates, revives, hydrates, and leaves it so beautifully soft. At the minute, it feels hot. It feels kind of like you want to get a rough flannel and scratch your face and soften it up. But anything abrasive on rosacea is just a no-go. So for me, that's not something I can consider. So this is why this works very well. And again, I think for all skin types, you can benefit from using a proper moisturiser. And effectively, this is what it is. It's just a man moisturiser. Okay, hair out the way. I'm going to start by dipping my fingers into it and just directly swish. And I put it straight on the face. So I don't think you can see the texture of this. Right. Again, make sure my finger's nice and coated. And then I just apply it directly to the face. I find it a circular motion works best because you kind of cover all the area and you can really work it into the skin. That side. Okay, so that's the face coated. It actually dries quite quickly. It's quite surprising how quickly it goes onto the skin. Instantly, it's very cool and very soothing on the skin. I kind of put it in comparison with, you know, when you have chewing gum and you breathe in with chewing gum in your mouth, it's a cold, cool, refreshing feeling, and it really does just absorb. You feel it coming into your face, pardon the pun. And I don't know if you can tell properly from this angle, but it just sucks into the skin. It's absolutely beautiful. I don't mind the smell of semen. I think that it's something that is quite a natural smell, and I have no aversion to it. Whereas I think some people might find it a little bit of an acquired taste. So in that sense, I always find having incense sticks or something on at the same time diffuses from the aroma of the semen. But naturally, if you find somebody that is very healthy in their diet, it won't have the same tang to it and smell. So it all depends on the individual really, and where I think you may have a bad experience with one, you may have a very good experience with another. So yeah, I think this loose semen is the least fragrant, and the thicker and more dried out that it is, the more kind of pungent it becomes. So definitely try to use it as fresh as possible. So as you can see, it's been on for a couple of moments and already it feels like it's drying into my face. It is quite instant because I've put, a smooth layer as opposed to a big splodge, because of the way that I've massaged it into the skin. I'm going to take some photos so you can actually see in better detail exactly what my skin looks like now, and I can attach them in the video. I have a lump down here of semen which is showing up quite well on camera, so I'll just get a close up of that. Okay, so I've captured that quite well drying into the skin there. I think that's probably a good indication of the texture of it. I'll attach that now for you to see. Now to remove the semen from my face. I genuinely find that going into the shower is a great way to kind of freshen up anyway. It depends on how much you have on your face, if you want to wash at the sink or if you just want to remove a certain area. Seeing as I'm on here, I can't really take you into the shower with me, so I'm going to be doing it at the table with a bowl of fresh water and a kitchen towel just to pat my face dry. So again, my hands are clean. I'm going to use another wet wipe and just re-clean them because you do want to keep the surface as hygienic as possible. I'm going to tear off a bit of the towel, dip it in the water, and then just remove in a very gentle way. And once the semen is touched with water, it goes from being dry and tight, kind of shriveled in. It kind of feels like a face pack that pulls the skin inwards. It feels so glossy to wipe it off. It's like having a kind of oil on the face or a wax where it just glides beautifully against the water. And you could wipe that as much as you like. I think being tender is the best way to do it. And alternatively, standing under the shower with cool water running across your skin is also very soothing. So now I'm going to do the other side. That feels absolutely beautiful. It's so cooling and soothing. Even though my face may still look red, the condition of the skin feels so much better already. And now I'm going to pat it dry. Peace. And then we have the Semen facial. So I leave my facial on depending on how long it takes to dry. Sometimes it could be 5 minutes, other times it could be 20 minutes. Or if you're watching, your favourite TV show or something, just pop it on and leave it for as long as you like. Cleaning it off, as you can see, is very simple and easy. Afterwards, my skin is soft, it's cool. I haven't put anything else on it. I don't need to use anything else. And definitely doing it before bedtime leaves you so vibrant and fresh by the morning. It depends on an individual skin type to how often you would do the Semen facial. I like to do mine once every 3 to 5 days if possible, if my skin's feeling particularly tender. In cooler months, when you have harsh heating and cold winds, I find that I need to do it a little bit more often. But towards the summer, the sun either agitates my skin or makes it feel better. It varies day to day really for the amount of sun exposure that I've had. I do always wear a high factor sun cream just to make sure that I'm not burning and that my skin doesn't get any worse. But effectively, maybe as a treatment once a month, once every 2 months. Whenever you would really need to use a face pack, you can use the Semen facial. I hope in showing you this today that it will help you to understand what people with rosacea go through and show you a healthy, natural alternative method to using products that are full of chemicals and tested on animals. To look at the ingredients of something and to see a load of code numbers and chemicals, you know that that isn't going to be great for your skin. Everything has a reaction, and something natural doesn't give me that. So I hope that this has helped you to understand the Semen facial a little bit more, to take the edge off of what is quite a taboo subject. I just wish you all the best with your health, your happiness. Thank you very much.